So this mod RimWorld recently got a pretty huge update involving a better scaling difficulty level, and it also now has compatibility with this mod Empire. RimWorld makes map combat much more dynamic. Enemies will send scouting parties around and trade caravans. You can interact with all this stuff on the world map. They could attack you or you can trade with the caravans. The mod Empire allows you to settle other colonies, and from what I've gathered, they will provide you taxes and other benefits, which I think is a feature that's really missing from the base game. There's no reason to settle multiple colonies in the base game. I'm gonna go over the new RimWorld patch notes and I'll do a timestamp if you guys want to skip it. Threading has been incorporated into the base RimWorld mod, which should reduce lag. They improved the world unit icons, and I actually already checked it out. They look pretty nice. When you engage a caravan on the world map, there's now options to redirect the unit to visit the player colony or attack a nearby enemy for a price. And yeah, now there's compatibility for the Empire mod. Player settlements are recognized as vassal factions to the player. Vassal states are able to generate units at the direction of the player, so I guess they'll send you units. Like, I wonder if they'll straight up send you colonists or if they'll just send you people to help out when you're like getting raided or something. Vassal settlements that are attacked by an enemy unit will trigger a settlement defense event from the Empire mod. This will always cost the vassal settlement RimWorld points regardless of the outcome. So I don't really know what RimWorld points are. The only points I know of are like the strength of enemies. I'm not sure on that one. Vassal settlement growth rate is limited by the settlement power level. I'm not sure what even determines a power level. I think you can increase it if you spend more silver or something like that. New mod option for AI aggression cost and cooldown, so you can change this around if it's too much. Adjust the frequency AI settlements may initiate aggressive acts against the player. We're just going to leave this stuff on default. I just want to test out the default settings. Added 2 new presets for easy and hard settings. Okay, I'm pretty sure even though they have easy and hard settings, the difficulty is going to be way lower, because before you could get attacked by super high-tech people when you're just basically tribal, and I think they fixed that. I doubt hard is going to be nearly as hard as it was before, at least I hope, because before the strength of enemy raids just seemed really random. Selecting a settlement on the world map will now draw a ring that shows the settlement's effective range, and I think that's like the range of how far they can attack, which I really like. Before it was kind of confusing on like why I was getting attacked by certain people. AI settlements will now display their aggression points in the settlement info box. Selecting player colonies will show the minimum aggression points the settlement needs to attack. So I guess if you get raided by a nearby faction is based on how many aggression points they have, which I like that as well. I think it's good to have more transparency on like why things are behaving the way they are. Added relative power unit cost to help prevent factions snowballing. So I guess the stronger a faction gets, the more their units are going to cost, just so they don't mow down all their nearby factions. There's also some tweaks. They've reduced the natural growth rate for settlements. The growth rate is now determined by biome, capital, faction, tech level, and behavior. And there's a pretty large growth range. It can be 24 to 60 points per settlement per day, and this can be adjusted in the mod options. They also reduced the overall settlement starting power by 50%. Okay, yeah, so in this 2-episode RimWorld series I did, I was just getting bombarded by raids that were way too strong, and people were saying, just turn down this threat level, dude. Like, I was playing with 500% threat level, but I have played with 500% threat level before, and I was never seeing anything like what we were seeing in those videos. And so it seems now the overall difficulty, especially starting out, is going to be way lower. Caravans now should have a reasonable chance of being undetected by units with overwhelming combat power. Okay, that's actually a big one, because before you couldn't even send caravans on the map unless you had some kind of massive military force. The detection factors are wealth, distance to the enemy unit, and caravan visibility. And caravan visibility is based on a few factors. I believe it's like the size of your animals and like the size of the caravan, like how many people are on it. But I forget, it's been a while since I've even cared about that mechanic. But I guess now that mechanic is actually going to matter. Settlement effective range has been modified to be less dependent on settlement power. I guess before the settlement power determined how much range it had, but I guess now it doesn't matter as much. And alright, that's the RimWorld patch. So I'm going to be testing it out combined with Empire. In order to do that, I'm going to have to make a new save. I don't think this run is going to overtake the other run I'm doing. I'm actually in a really cool spot on that playthrough, but we'll see how it goes. That's going to be my next video. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one.